Weapon 1. The Super Soldier Program. Weapon 1 is the first official phase of the Weapon Plus initiative, designed to create the world's perfect soldier. The program began during World War II, when the U.S. government needed an enhanced human, capable of turning the tide of the conflict. The project was led by Dr. Abraham Erskine, whose experimental super soldier serum was still in its earliest stages of development. The chosen subject was Steve Rogers, a physically weak but mentally determined young man rejected repeatedly for military service. What set him apart wasn't strength. It was his character, resilience, and unwavering sense of duty. Erskine believed that the serum would amplify not just the body, but the person within it. Inside the rebirth chamber, Rogers was injected with the serum and exposed to Vita rays, activating the formula. His body rapidly transformed. Muscles grew, endurance increased, and his physiology reached the peak of human potential. This process created the first and only true super soldier, Captain America. Immediately after the experiment, the program suffered a major setback. Dr. Erskine was assassinated, taking the exact formula with him. Without the creator, Weapon 1 could not be perfectly replicated. Every attempt the government made afterward failed, or produced unstable results, leading to new branches and more extreme experiments. Weapon 1 became the foundation of an entire lineage of programs that tried to recreate or surpass Captain America's success. This path eventually led to enhanced animals, psychic research, mutant experiments, and ultimately the infamous Weapon X project. Weapon X, Wolverine. The Weapon X program was created to push the Weapon Plus initiative beyond human limits. Instead of trying to enhance a soldier, the project targeted mutants, specifically those with healing factor strong enough to survive experiments that would kill ordinary subjects. Logan, already a mutant with retractable bone claws and extraordinary regeneration, became their most valuable test candidate. After being captured, Logan was transported to a secure research facility run by William Stryker's team. The program's main goal was straightforward: bond adamantium, an indestructible metal, to a living skeleton. If the process succeeded, the subject would become nearly unstoppable. If it failed, the body would be destroyed instantly. Logan was restrained in a containment tank while dozens of surgical needles injected molten adamantium directly into his bones. His healing factor worked constantly to prevent organ failure, shock, and metal poisoning. Every bone, including the 6 claws inside his forearms, was reinforced with the alloy, turning them into lethal weapons capable of cutting through almost any material. Once the bonding was complete, Logan's physiology changed dramatically. His durability increased, to the point where conventional weapons became almost useless. However, the mental cost was severe. The procedure overloaded his senses, fractured his memory, and pushed his instincts into a feral state. Weapon X attempted to use extensive conditioning, trying to turn him into a controllable assassin, but his willpower and healing factor eventually broke the programming. Logan escaped the facility in a violent breakout, leaving behind the ruins of the Weapon X experiment. He emerged not just as a mutant survivor, but as one of the most dangerous creations in the entire Weapon Plus program. Weapon 11. Deadpool from X-Men Origins. Wolverine. Weapon 11 was Weapon X's attempt to create the ultimate hybrid super soldier. Instead of relying on one mutant's abilities, the program collected and engineered multiple powers into a single controlled operative. Wade Wilson, already a highly trained mercenary with exceptional reflexes and combat skill, became the foundation for their experiment. Wade's body was surgically altered and modified with gene samples taken from several captured mutants. The goal was to combine long-range energy abilities, close-range fighting skills, and teleportation into a single controlled weapon. He received accelerated healing, energy projection from his hands, and retractable arm-mounted blades designed to mimic his original swordsmanship but now mechanically enhanced. One of the program's most ambitious additions was teleportation. Instead of giving Wade natural teleportation abilities, Weapon X embedded the power directly into his biology using grafted DNA and device integration. The result was unstable but effective, allowing him to reposition instantly during combat. To ensure total obedience, the project sealed his mouth and applied neurological controls, removing his personality, humor, and independence. Wade was redesigned to follow commands without hesitation, functioning as a silent hunter rather than the chaotic mercenary he used to be. In the final stage, Weapon 11, he became a remote-controlled assassin with multiple power sets, optic blasts, rapid healing, teleportation, enhanced durability, and bladed weaponry. However, the combination of so many abilities made him unstable. The program never perfected the balance between control and power. When Logan confronted Weapon 11, the flaws in the experiment became clear. The hybrid was powerful but unpredictable. The grafted powers clashed, his body overheated, and the control system failed. Once the fight pushed him beyond the limits, of what the experiment could handle. Weapon X to experiment, Lady Deathstrike. Lady Deathstrike represents the next phase of the Weapon X program. The stage where the scientists didn't just create weapons. They perfected control. While Wolverine was the original adamantium test subject, Yuriko Oyama became what the Weapon X project did after they learned from him. This is why many fans refer to her as the Weapon X to experiment. The second major success of the program. Yuriko started as a skilled fighter, but after falling under William Stryker's control, she was transformed through a series of forced procedures. Her entire skeleton was bonded with adamantium, using a refined version of the process that nearly killed Logan. Where Wolverine survived through raw will and healing, Yuriko survived because Weapon X engineered the procedure to be cleaner, faster, and more controlled. Her hands were redesigned into lethal weapons. Each finger contained long, retractable adamantium claws, engineered with reinforced tendons to move faster and strike harder than natural bone claws. In combat, she could unleash rapid multi-strike attacks with inhuman precision, making her one of the deadliest hand-to-hand mutants in the franchise. But the true horror of the Weapon X to experiment wasn't her claws, it was her mind. Stryker used a neurochemical serum to suppress her memory, override her identity, and erase her free will. Unlike Wolverine, who fought against conditioning, Deathstrike became an empty vessel, obeying commands with machine-like focus. She didn't question orders because the programming didn't allow her to. Her appearance in X2 shows the evolution of Weapon X. Logan was their project. Deathstrike was their upgrade. Weapon X-23. Laura Kinney. Laura was never supposed to be born. She was engineered, created inside the Transigen facility. She represents the final stage of the Weapon X legacy. Not another experiment, but a manufactured successor. Instead of choosing a mutant and breaking them, Transigen built one from the ground up, using Wolverine's DNA, designing a weapon who could be stronger, faster, and easier to control than Logan ever was. Unlike the original Weapon X program, Transigen didn't experiment on adults. They grew children in artificial wombs, raised them in isolation, and trained them like soldiers from the moment they could walk. Laura was part of this new generation, a child with claws, ferocity, and healing born into captivity. Her mutation activated early, and like her genetic father, she manifested adamantium-coated claws, 2 in each hand and an extra one in each foot. The procedure was brutal. They didn't reinforce her entire skeleton like Wolverine, only the claws. Transigen knew a child wouldn't survive a full adamantium bonding, so they focused on perfecting her as an assassin rather than a tank. Each claw was surgically coated and reinserted into her body, leaving her awake during the process. Her screams were ignored. To the facility, pain wasn't a side effect. It was training. But the real weaponization wasn't her claws. It was her conditioning. Transigen designed Laura to kill on command. They drilled her in multiple martial arts, taught her to strike vital points, and trained her to eliminate targets quietly, quickly, and without hesitation. Weapon X-24. X-24 is the purest creation of the Weapon X legacy, living experiment engineered not to be a soldier or a volunteer, but a biological weapon grown in a lab to mimic Wolverine at his strongest while removing every trace of his humanity. After Transigen failed to control the emotional, unpredictable mutant children of the X-23 program, they shifted to something colder and more brutal. Instead of raising mutants, they manufactured an adult clone, built to look like Logan, fight like Logan, and kill with absolute obedience. X-24 has no childhood, no name, no personality. He was created inside containment chambers, conditioned only to respond to commands and eliminate threats with perfect efficiency. Physically, he mirrors Wolverine at his prime. Adamantium-coated claws capable of carving through steel. Overwhelming strength that lets him overpower even the older Logan with terrifying ease. And a healing factor far healthier and faster than Wolverine's deteriorating regeneration. In the film, X-24 shrugs off gunshots, blade wounds, and impacts that would cripple most mutants, making him a relentless predator designed for close-quarters slaughter. What makes him horrifying isn't just his power, it's what he lacks. He doesn't speak, he doesn't hesitate, he doesn't question orders. Every movement is mechanical violence guided by pure instinct, the exact kind of weapon Weapon X always dreamed of creating, but could never fully achieve with Logan himself. X-24 is Wolverine without a conscience, a mirror image with dead eyes and no soul behind them. Transigen used him as their enforcer, unleashing him whenever an escape occurred. Sabretooth, Weapon X adjacent experiment. Sabretooth was never part of the official Weapon X bonding project like Logan, but the film shows that he underwent a series of controlled experiments under William Stryker's supervision. These procedures were designed to refine his natural mutant abilities rather than rebuild his body. Victor was already a powerful mutant, heightened senses, claws, enhanced strength, and a strong healing factor, but Stryker believed that with the right modifications, he could turn him into a more reliable combat asset. After joining Team X, Victor allowed Stryker's scientists to run tests on him, measuring how far his mutation could be pushed without breaking down his physiology. The experiments focused on strengthening his regeneration, stabilizing his aggression, and improving his resistance to physical trauma. He was repeatedly injected with enhancement serums that accelerated cellular recovery and increased muscle density. These treatments didn't transform him the way adamantium changed Logan, but they made his existing abilities far more efficient. His durability rose to the point where conventional attacks and injuries barely slowed him down, and his healing factor became fast enough to recover from damage that would incapacitate normal mutants. The program also monitored his psychological responses. Stryker wanted to determine whether Victor could be directed as a controllable weapon. Although his physical performance improved, his aggression remained difficult to regulate, making him unpredictable but extremely effective in the field.